Hello, I'm Jarrett Lau, the founder of Profitable Properties Boston. So many of my clients are landlords, investors, and they reach out to me because they ask me, well, Jarrett, are you also doing Airbnbs? What are your thoughts on that? Everybody says, oh man, I know this friend that's making a ton of money doing Airbnbs. Now, every single opportunity in this world comes at a cost. And what are those costs? So I'm going to be covering the benefits as well as some of the negatives of doing Airbnbs. I'm actually at a Airbnb as we speak, and it inspired me to be able to do this and explain it a little bit more. So first and foremost, a lot of times Airbnbs are in a vacation area. And with any type of property that you buy, you're actually going to want to know that area really well. Is it something where there's a lot of other Airbnbs right now? Or is it really just a lot of hotels or motels? What are the prices like, right? So we're so used to, as an investor, with these long-term rentals, having the same tenant for up 12 months, sometimes even longer than that. Whereas Airbnb, you can get a tenant for 1 night, 2 nights. There's going to be a lot of turnover, a lot of communication, a lot of different things that we're not used to day to day that a Airbnb landlord is very used to. So again, you'll also, just like anything else, have the choice to use a property manager. Property managers in the greater Boston area might charge anywhere between 5 and 8% for the long-term rentals, because even though they have to do day-to-day work, it's not going to be to the same degree as an Airbnb might be. Airbnb management companies are going to charge anywhere between 20 and 25% of your profits, or in net amounts, which really eat into your profits. And you're going to have to consider that into your calculations. In addition, there's going to be that whole situation of vacancy. When we have a lease, we know that we should get rent every single month at X amount. And yes, Airbnbs will allow you to be able to charge per night, sometimes an equivalent of significantly more than you would get on a long-term rental. However, it does come at a cost. You might have 50% vacancy, or you might be full occupancy for certain months during the winter or summer if it's on a lake or by a mountain. But during other time frames, you might actually just have quite a bit of vacancy. And those are times where you will still have your holding costs, but you need to be able to perform and make sure that you have enough income coming in to cover those costs. So with me, I own a couple different vacation homes, and I have tried to Airbnb them before, and they were profitable, but it's a different feeling. When I buy an investment property that's on a long term, I really never intend to use it myself. It's just kind of an investment, and I don't think about it, and there's no emotional ties. However, with houses like on my beach house or my lake house, what ends up happening is that I and my family will actually go out and use this space. And especially during COVID, you're gonna wanna make sure that the turnovers are done really clean, and especially when there's people that you love that are visiting the place, you want to make sure you take those additional steps. That being said, it does get emotional because I do worry about my favorite chair or my window or something that someone left for me being broken or stolen, and you're going to deal with that. It's just like when people rent a hotel. It's not the same. Whereas again, you develop a different type of attachment because everything's furnished, everything is yours per se. So just be aware of it, and if you have no emotional ties, it's great, you're not worried about it, okay. Another thing that I always thought about was, hey, I'll rent out the property and then I'll use it whenever I want. That's great. Now there's two parts of this that conflicted me. One, I got the most amount of money when I rented it out. So when I'm using it myself or other people are using it, I'm losing money during that time frame. And that is a struggle because you're supposed to buy this house maybe as an investment or maybe as an owner occupied and be able to rent it. It's a tough balance because especially when you have friends and families that may say, hey, I want to borrow the house, you're going to have to make it very clear, hey, you're going to have to pay the same amount as anybody else, and you might be responsible for those same damages. So for me, it was one of those type of things where I rarely actually, after I turned my lake house into Airbnb, ever actually used it. It was just, I made it into a rental, and then I'm like, why am I keeping it where the return's good enough to deal with all these type of headaches? Again, at the end of the day, if you look at it as an investment, you have to be able to know what those calculations are. For me as a long-term investor, I'm able to calculate them a lot easier based upon long-term rents, knowing every single month. And I guess after Airbnb, if you've held it for long enough, you'll be able to know the ebbs and flows of the market, to be able to know, hey, maybe these are the months that I'm slow, these are the months that I'm really booked up, and that you can count on it. Again, the COVID situation has actually changed the Airbnb landscape quite a bit. You're able to obviously have a higher occupancy because people want to get out of their houses. They want to be in a different area such as a lake house or a beach house. So rents are really, really, really good right now with the Airbnb market. Just know what different things that can come into it. So again, Jarrett with Profitable Properties Boston, we just covered some of the benefits and negatives and other aspects that you should consider when purchasing a vacation house as a Airbnb, and whether you're going to consider using it as an investment or as an owner occupied. I hope you found value in this video, and if you or anyone else you know is looking for a profitable property, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you go from one property to wealthy.